All right, so welcome all of you to the IOQM and IOQM award and the RMO camps discussion. So I just wanted to share a few ideas with you guys. Some of you have already qualified. I mean, I think all of you have qualified for IOQM this year. So congratulations to all of you. And but the main question, I guess, for today is how to prepare for RMO and what are we doing to get started with that. So, um, I just wanted to ask uh, each of you how you are preparing for it, and then we can discuss some of the things that we can do at Chinta. So, uh, I see a few people here. Jishnu is here, Srihan, and Nandagovind is here, and Arjun is here. Many people are here, many familiar faces. So it's great to see all of you. Um, One thing I just wanted to point out that we are starting from Monday, uh, the RMO related camp, which will be happening for 1.5 hours every day from Monday through Friday. So are all of you are familiar with this, like the timings and everything? Can some of you share that with me? Okay, all right, that's So, what timings are you guys working on? Like, is it 6 o'clock in the morning? That timing, right? So, all of you know this already that this RMO is on October 29th, right? I think you already know this. So there will be six problems again. This is a known fact. But if there is one of you who do not know this, then this is a subjective type exam where there will be six problems, and usually each problem used to be of 17 marks, but I don't know what would happen this year. One thing to so one thing that we would like to do in the span of the next 20 days is to complete as many RMO problems as possible from past years. So how many of you have already started working on the RMO problems or the INMO problems? Yes, Govind, how much have you done already? Okay, that's awesome. Anyone? Ahorshi has been working on many of these problems. I have seen one of the violations that he made. I think Ahorshi, did you share that with others? The compilation that you. Oh, I see. So Ahorshi did an ex. Did you want to share it with others? Yeah, that would be great because then many people can actually, benefit from it. It's a wonderful document. I will share that with all of you. It has quite a few pages. It discusses the problems in depth. So, Oshi, how far are you through the RMO problems? Yeah, I think this is a very good idea. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. very nice. So this is a point that I wanted to discuss with all of you, that the way these RMO camp is designed is more in the line of INMO camp. Okay, so because as you could probably see in the IOQM, that several of the problems in IOQM were quite challenging. I mean, they were more challenging than usual PRMO problems or IOQM problems used to be. So as Ahoshi rightly points out, this year's RMO, we are anticipating that it would be quite challenging, somewhere like mid INMO level maybe. So it's a good idea to practice the INMO problems and APMO problems, of course, USMO problems, of course. So there will be a decent mix of these problems in the RMO camp that we will be conducting. So I think we will have 20 classes, and if we have 3 to 4 problems in each class, we'll be probably covering about 80 problems all through the 20 classes, 80 good problems. I just wanted to know if any of you have any suggestions so far on the camp, like if you wanted to do something specific or right. I think that's a good idea. MOSP problems, right? So I will ask the fact. I don't know whether faculty is actually thinking about doing that, but certainly that's one thing I will ask them to incorporate. Um, Anyone else? We have already completed the RMO problem set here, or oh, okay. So Hoshi already sent document in the Cheenta WhatsApp group, which is great. So you guys can check that out. So um, those of you are, however, there are few of you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Again, one thing I sometimes suggest, like some couple of years ago when I was taking the RMO camp, were doing the geometry part of it. One thing I found very, very interesting is that if you could do a problem in the synthetic geometry way, and then you could use transformation geometry, and then you could brute force it maybe with complex numbers, or let's say just algebra or coordinate geometry. So like three different approaches. So really, when you are doing a geometry problem, and this is something that many of you have realized all by this time, that when you are doing a geometry problem, you are really having three broad approaches. One is you use synthetic geometry. Synthetic geometry in the sense that you have all the formulas that you have learned, all the formulas that you have learned, you use them, all the theorems that you have learned, you use them, and you try to build a set of reasoning which sort of gets down to the main solution. That is synthetic geometry approach, of course. The second approach is much more novel, the transformation geometry approach. I think that is quite unique. We have discussed transformation geometry quite a few times, like homothety, like rotation, translation, inversion. These techniques are there. So if you can solve a problem using one of those techniques, that would be really awesome. The third and the final strategy would be to brute force it, like you use. So when you have a rotation related problem, like if you are moving things along a plane, or expanding things or contracting things, if this sort of things are happening, then you can almost certainly use complex numbers. If you are dealing with the ratios, you can most certainly use barycentric coordinates. If you are just using some sort of vector kind of stuff, like translation kind of problem, then you probably do it with the vector algebra. So the choice of weapon really depends on you. And then there is, of course, coordinate bashing. You can just root it and try to break the entire thing using coordinate system. Okay, just a second. uh Something is happening. Let's see. I'll just reload the page. 1 second. Yeah, can you guys hear me now? Okay. So could you hear what I, like, the three things that you could do? Maybe you heard it. Did you hear it or not? Did I? Right. Okay. Okay. That's great. Now, some of you are just at the edge. For example, maybe you got somewhere between 10 and 25, let's say. If you have got between 10 and 5, or if you think you are not comfortable with RMO level problems, then my suggestion to you is that you first focus on RMO level problems. Okay. So in the RMO camp, some of the problems will be taken from RMO, the Regional Math Olympiad. Okay. Some of them will be, of course, more advanced, like MOSP, like USMO or something like that. But some problems will be of the RMO standard. So you should definitely focus on RMO standard. It's better. It's a good starting point. Once you are done with this session for today, almost at the end of it, I must congratulate all of you for your excellent work. By the way, Raghunath sir and others are also will be continuing with the 9 p.m. session. Okay, like the regular INMO problem solving session. So you should definitely continue attending that. I hope all of you are attending that. Is, is that true? Or you are attending that? Okay. I think, okay, okay. So now basically you will have two sets of problem solving classes. One from Raghunath sir and others who are taking the regular problem solving sessions 5 days a week. And then the second set in the early morning, I think Dibya Jyoti will be taking it. So we'll see. He's an excellent faculty. I think you will have a lot to learn from him. So that's the other part. So the final thing I would just conclude this. If you guys have any other comment, please share it with me right now. You have any other comment at the moment? Yeah, yeah, go ahead. So if you are not so if you are not added to the INMO problem solution, then you mention it in the RMO camp WhatsApp group. Okay. After, so the admin will add you to that, because since you're done with IOQM, you should move on to INMO problem solving. That's very simple. So basically, You should be doing 2.5 hours of math with Chinta for the next 20 days from Monday. And then apart from that, of course, you should be devoting another 3 4 hours at your home at least. That's the point. So this is the final stretch, like the next 20 days are. So all the best to all of you. I'm really excited. Okay, so someone commented something. Yeah, recordings and notes will be available. Yes, yes. I know some of your exam is going on, but it's very much recommended that you attend the live sessions, because then you will have interactions, right? Which is the most important part. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. If not, by the way, we will be asking for your home address. We will send you a token gift for the wonderful work that you have done so far in IOQM. Keep holding the fort. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the plan. They will be discussing 3 4 problems in the session, and they will be putting out 3 4 more problems for the rest of the day. So if you guys can work on that, yeah. Yes, go ahead, Shoham. So, for example, if you're using Murray heads inequality, I'm just picking example that you picked. Then it's probably better to deduce, at least at least give a side argument how you might deduce it, because you know the yeah. So ideally, in the previous years, I would always used to say that in inequalities, you just assume that you can only assume Cauchy Schwarz and AMGM. If you probably you can use rearrangement inequality with one line of explanation, but if you are using something like T2's lemma, let's say, okay, then it's always good to have a little addendum that explains what the lemma is. So, a very good answer script would actually contain a few lemmas or one or two lemmas which describes the main tools used to solve the problem. You really don't have to explain the entire lemma. Sometimes what happens is that the statement of the problem is really that one result. You know, maybe it's just the Murray-Head's inequality, whatever it is. I don't know, but it's sometimes it's like that, right? It's just the if you plug that those numbers into that inequality, you will get exactly what you need. Then, as Shoham says, that it's just one line, but I don't think it is sufficient to just mention that. You should, you know, go ahead and say some more how that special result is proved. At least give a sketch of it. That keeps you in the safe side, right? Yeah, I mean, in geometry, you can use brute force, yes. It will not be pretty if you are, if it's like a terrible kind of thing. For example, I know people who are really skilled in complex numbers, so they could just brute force a page calculations through complex numbers and reach a result. That is acceptable actually. That's fine. Yeah. But I will ask your mind to play a trick with yourself, that at least in the preparatory stage, do not tell your mind to brute force on the way. In the preparation stage, at least look out for those clever constructions that you might be doing, or maybe a couple of theorems application which will reach you to the result. Brute force is there, of course. You always come back to it and use it. And of course, you have to practice that as well. But in the preparatory stage, at least, you should be focusing on, you know, the clever, genius ways of doing these things, right? Okay. Any other? So for the newcomers, the people who are just, you know, who are thinking that okay, I just barely made through IOQM. What am I going to do next? Don't worry at all. You just have to focus on the RMO problems. Okay, the RMO problems, and observe what's going on at the INMO problems, INMO standard problems. Okay. Um, but other than that, I think you'll be fine. Thank you guys for joining in. Please put a request in the Chinta WhatsApp group if you have not been added to the INMO group, and we will reach out to you for your addresses for the token gift that is out there for the IOQM results. Okay. All right. Thank you and goodbye and good luck. Okay. Take care.